hello and welcome to Chai Chat with Lavina. After COVID, we saw a lot of people turned inward and looking at what they can do themselves on their own. And in the meantime, we see a lot of buzz around about startups. I know a lot of them don't do well, but some do, and then we have a great big idea. I want to explore today with someone who is starting, someone who already started and has made it big, and someone like a bank who can support the entire process, the whole idea behind startup and how can we do it ourselves. So thank you so much, and I have on my left a very bright and beautiful girl, Sahiba Patni, who is starting her startup, already started. She will deliver everything that you want to your doorstep in an instant. And on his left is Bankim Chandra, who started in 2002 and now is big and now supporting startups. So hopefully he can support Sahiba. And on her right is Pratap Singh, who is the head of retail and SME in UK and Europe and comes from the bank perspective, ICICI, he's from ICICI, to tell me how a bank figures in a startup's life. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So, Sahiba, should I start with you? What inspired you? You look so little to start having this big idea of starting. Please tell me about it and what is it that you're looking for?
Right. So I'll first of all thank you for having me here, and it's really nice sitting with such established people. But then I'll divide your questions into two. What is it that I'm doing, and what inspired me to do what I'm doing? तो with We Deliver हम लोगों को उनका वक्त वापस कर रहे हैं. So when you look at
क्या खूबसूरत लाइफ है, मतलब शायरी में डाल दिया आपने उसमें.
So what I essentially mean is रोजमर्रा की जो जिंदगी होती है उसमें आप टेक एन एग्जांपल, आपने ज़ारा से कपड़े खरीदे हैं और जो उसका रिटर्न करना है, अब उसके लिए एक लंबी लाइन में आपको खड़े रहना पड़ेगा सिर्फ एक कपड़ा रिटर्न करने के लिए. हाँ, वक्त जा रहा है उसमें. हाँ, ये वो वक्त है जब अपने बच्चे के साथ बिता सकते हैं या अपने पार्टनर के साथ बिता सकते हैं, खुद एक जिमिंग करके न्यू डिग्री लेके या न्यू कोर्स लेके बचा सकते हैं. आप एक जगह से दूसरी जगह अपने ग्रोसरीज लेने जा रहे हैं या एक जगह से दूसरी जगह आप सिर्फ इंडिया से जो आपके दोस्त ने आपके लिए सामान लेके आया है वो लेने जा रहे हैं. 1.5 से 2 घंटा अगर आप एक ट्रैवल में बिता रहे हो, हम आपसे वो वाला वक्त आपको वापस दे रहे हैं, आपका वो काम करके. तो थिंक ऑफ अस एज योर रामू काका इन इंडिया. हर काम आपको जिसके लिए घर से बाहर जाना पड़ता है, एक मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन पे ऑर्डर करके हम इंस्टेंटली वो आपके दरवाजे पे वो सर्विस लाते हैं.
Perfect.
So this is the application.
I really need a Ramu Kaka. I know that Ramu Kaka note will be very expensive in the UK Kaka zone.
No, so
True.
Absolutely true. And just bearing the cost point, हमने जो हमारा प्राइस स्टैंड पॉइंट है वो इस तरीके से डिजाइन किया है कि आपका ऑयस्टर का जो जर्नी है उसके बराबर या उससे कम का चार्ज रहेगा. So we want to make sure कि अगर आप पोलवन से हैरो जा रहे हो और ऑयस्टर में 275 आपको लग रहा है, that is the delivery cost. उतना या उससे कम is what we are giving.
Not bad, huh?
Very good. Impressive.
Awesome, man. How did you think of this?
How did I think of this? So I am a product of convenience. And I come from India. जिस फैमिली से मैं आती हूँ वहाँ पे सुबह का खाना शाम को नहीं खाते क्योंकि ठंडा हो गया है. Then I come to the UK and I realize कि फ्रोजन के ऊपर फ्रोजन चीजें आ रही है क्योंकि आप रोज रोज जाके लेके नहीं आ सकते क्योंकि आपका आशीर्वाद आटा या आपका पोहा सिर्फ या तो हॉन्स्टो में ईस्ट हैम साइड मिलेगा या तो हैरो साउथ हॉल मिलेगा. मैं रहती हूँ कनेरी वॉफ. आई कांट ट्रैवल एवरी डे देयर. तो आप स्टॉक कर लो, तो आप बल्क में फ्रोजन करेला और भिंडी भी ले आओ. माय मदर वाज सरप्राइज कि इतना फ्रोजन कैसे खा सकते हैं, हेल्थ पे अफेक्ट कर रहा है. एंड सो वी थॉट द रीजन व्हाई पीपल आर स्टॉकिंग थिंग्स एंड डूइंग फ्रोजन आइटम्स इज बिकॉज़ आप रोज रोज जा नहीं सकते. वी गेट इट फॉर यू. आप अपनी हेल्थ को खराब मत करो क्योंकि आपको जर्नी करनी पड़ती है. So that is the premise जहाँ से ये पूरा आइडिया स्टेम किया. And then the amount of time हम सड़कों पे वेस्ट करते हैं, again it's just bizarre. And so just came up with this idea, spoke with a lot of people to understand क्या ये problem उनको भी है, and like you just said, like रामू काका किसे नहीं चाहिए. And yes, and that's when the journey started, and we are launching very soon on the 10th of February now.
Oh, fantastic. I wish you so very well. Wait, say, Bankim ji, huh? Pratap ji, we have a Ramu Kaka now. She looks far away from Ramu Kaka.
Or a John Smith.
So, you started quite early on, and you know, जो आपका ये .com जो भी आपका tech bubble जब हो रहा था, now you're a very successful software company, Bankim. Tell me, what really is it that people like Sahiba need to be aware of at this stage?
First of all, thank you, Lavina, for inviting us over here. And congratulations, Sahiba, for taking the step of opening a company. What we conversed earlier on, you've definitely got the app, you've got everything ready and almost ready for the launch, which is, I feel, is one of the difficult things and an obstacle which you have already conquered. But just to let you know, never gets easy. I'm sorry to say that, break that news to you. I've been doing it for 20 years, and every week, still, there are challenges, there are issues, risks, and as the CEO of the company, you have to make sure you are doing better and better. You know, one of the taglines of DotSquiz is always a better way of doing things. And when we work on projects, we're improving those efficiencies. And year 2023, we have called it as the year of Kaizen, which means it's all around efficiency. And what's currently happening in the world where the big recession is happening, coming up, and everyone is looking for that efficiency. So as a startup, what I feel one needs to take care of is, have you done your market research properly? Who are the competitors? What are the prices? The example which you gave about the tube fare and the oyster fare, that's an amazing thing, because that's what people will be comparing you with. And then, who will be your team?
Correct.
Whom are you surrounded by? Who is your Duracell? Who will be giving you the energy? Because you want the right positive people around you to make sure they're positive in taking those steps. Whatever new ideas you have with your app, with your next phases for your journey, and that's where I feel, Lavina, I was lucky with, right? Ours is a family business. You know, we have our own development centers in Jaipur, in India. It's family business. I'm surrounded with my brother and one of the director. My wife is involved here. So when we make decisions, we are a close-knit company. And the core team which I have in the UK and in India, we all again sit together when we are making some big decisions. So make sure you're surrounded with the right people. Do your market research properly. Always stay close to the business. That is important, right? You can't go away. You can't relax, especially in the industry which you are in, and what we have seen, what has happened through the phases of Ubers, Deliveroos, Just Eats. You know, if you relax, there are thousands other coming up with an idea. So again, I congratulate you and wish you all the best.
Brilliant. Now, this is where a bank comes in, like an ICICI. You work with small and medium businesses all the time, SMEs. I hear that ICICI also helps to open a bank even without sitting in India, isn't it? So in the world of startups, where does the bank figure? And then I'll come to you on investment, of how did you manage that?
Sure. Thank you, Lavina, for having me here.
And give them the world of startups,
Absolutely.
From the bank point of view.
Thank you, Lavina. And I think it's a great opportunity and to hear the nice stories of the startup and somebody who has already grown big over a period of time. So I think as we all know, I mean, today when it comes to anybody who is doing well, all of our relatives, friends and all, we always see that there is a lot of, jealousy, people trying to pull you down and, not feel happy with the growth. The only partner other than your family, the other partner who always feels happy about the growth of a business is the banking partner. Because if the venture grows, the bank automatically grows. So this is very close to, so bank is always very close to family. And I think one of the philosophy which ICICI Bank has is whatever we do, it has to be fair to the bank and fair to the customer.
Yeah.
You can't have unilateral calls wherein either you become too uncompetitive or you become so competitive that in the long run the investor, those who have invested into this, which is, ultimately these startups will also grow as part of your investor over a period of time. So to that extent, I have to take care of the balancing act for both. Where does the ICICI startup support comes in? So while since both our startups are having one leg in India in terms of either from India or having some base in India to support on the tech side. So India, we have something called an incubation hub, which is based out of Bangalore. and we have a complete startup ecosystem. Then right from opening a bank account, providing a payment support system, supporting in terms of with the right investors, or maybe in terms of connecting people of the like-minded and the similar this thing. So that comes so that the startup keep learning, keep growing.
आपने एक कड़वा सच जो बताया बैंकिंग का, that is so true, because not everyone is happy with your success, right? But bank is always happy, and that's where I have been lucky with my current bank. And एक चीज और बताना चाहूँगा मैं, of course, because your business is all connected to technology.
Correct.
Right? The decisions which you take right at the start, जो आप base बना रहे हैं, that base will be useful later on. Any decisions you take around processes. I'm a man of processes.
Right.
After working for RBS, American Express, Santander, with all these big companies, it's all about processes. But a process should not deliver or should not delay the delivery of your product.
Correct.
And your customer is always the king or the queen in the modern world, right? Mm-hmm. So that is the key. So whatever processes you make, they have to be agile and quick.
Yeah, I think
That's
that's very
the-
good premise of a startup anyway, right? You have to be quicker.
But that's amazing. वैसे pronouns के बारे में बोल दो. It's not she, he, now they're they.
They.
So many. So we have to. No, on a serious note, in terms of investment, जो investment होता है, मुझे बताओ, what is it that, how would you go out? You are on your own. एक छोटी सी बच्ची लगती हो तुम, बड़े से दिमाग के साथ. How would you approach and say कि यार मुझ में invest आप कर दो, ये मेरा idea है.
Like he also rightly mentioned, I think when I speak about myself, and I speak about myself from a consumer technology product standpoint, like a D2C, because that's where I'm operating in. Who are you as a founder? What is your reputation? Are you bringing that credibility? How clean are your compliances? How will you address your issues with the investors? These are the few things that makes a reputation of a founder.
Passion.
And I think that's important. Because kya hoga, as a startup, things are going to go down south. I'll have to, or probably early stage businesses, they will have to at some point in time let go of their people. How do you let go of that person? Right? That goes a long way in deciding of who you are as a leader, who you are as a founder, and an investor is backing that. How is my compliance done? How am I closing my books? Who am I getting my books audited from? Right? In a situation where, let's say, we have to do a down round, or if we have to sell under distress, how am I communicating it with my investors? Am I working for my investors, or am I doing for value increment of my own? Right? I think things like this have to be taken care of. That builds a credibility. Then when you reach out to your investors, half the battle is done, because they are backing you. The product is not there yet. Right? You are the one who's going to lead the product. So do you have what it takes to lead the product is what an active investor would look at. Next comes, how is your team? Because there's only so much you can do, right? And let's say if you're building a technology platform and you come from a finance background, who's the one who's going to be doing your technology? How strong is that person? So product team in a D2C case. Operations for that matter, like you rightly mentioned. I mean, these are non-glamorous sides of the business, like your supply chain, your inventory management system, your unit economics. But then these are the ones that are important to take the product to the user. So how clear is your team in getting those metrics to you? How is your performance marketing done? Right? So I think these are the few things from a team standpoint that an investor looks at before he then goes on to, of course, do the product market fit, and then your financials are matching. Is your 5 years, 2 years, 3 years business plan making sense? Are the numbers stacking up? So you reach out with all these products, all these information to them, and I think if it's a good product, if there is a great team behind the good product, there's an ample amount of money available there.
मुझे एक बताओ, I was talking, and I'll come to you, and I'll tell you what your questions will think. Sometimes you come, जब normal आपके investor है, मान लीजिए आपकी crowd funding है या आपको इस तरह से भी चाहिए, apart from what is it? ये पूरी तो jargonomics हो गई मेरे लिए.
Okay.
And what is it that takes sometimes for you when you go to someone, which you say and you say, यार ये बंदे में दम है. What is it that you have said and got a deal without all of this? What is that one thing that person should?
For me, it's empathy.
Fantastic.
For me, it's that.
So ultimately, every business boils down to person and that
Yes.
one thing.
Yes.
हाँ है कि नहीं? Business ऐसे होता है.
I interview a lot of people.
Huh.
right? I make a decision within the first 2 minutes.
Really?
My interviews are maximum 15-20 minutes, but my decision is based within the first 2 minutes. And you can look at, by looking at someone's eyes, you can tell the body language, what that person is going to be, how loyal, how much you can trust, because it's all about trust, honesty, long term.
What challenges did you face and how did you overcome in terms of
They haven't finished yet, Lovina.
Abhi
You tell me which year we don't have a challenge.
लगे रहो बुरा भाई.
अगर अपन challenges की बात करें,
हाँ.
तो of course the challenges are around people.
हाँ.
And one of the biggest challenge for me personally when I started the company, I was a salesperson, I was a project manager, and I was the admin. To let those responsibilities go away from me.
Delegate.
Ah.
To delegate.
So I couldn't delegate initially. And then I had meeting with my wife, with my accountant, and they said, Bankim, if we have to grow, you have to delegate. I'm a Virgo, right? I keep everything. I'm a controlling person. I don't trust people very quickly in terms of, I take my time, trust with the supplier or anything. So delegation is the key, because gradually your time within the business will become more and more important. Investors would wanting your time. Those kind of high-level dashboards, status report meetings. That's what they would want. And then your process. Who is the head of your operations?
Right.
Who is the head of your technology? Who is your CTO? Who is your CFO? Right. That's where you will have to start thinking.
Yeah, amazing. So in this whole investment scenario, how would a bank jump in to help when the challenges are coming through, and when would people like her can go to a bank?
So putting investors' money on one person's passion, energy, and all may not be the prudent thing for a bank to invest.
Yeah.
However, where the bank's role comes in, as I mentioned, like if there are a lot of startups those who are starting company here in UK, opening company takes 30 days, takes 6 months to open the account. There, if I can crunch this time to say 10 or 15 days, if I can provide them all kind of financial services, intermediary in terms of all the utility payments, vendor payments, customer payments being received, payment ecosystem, those kind of things if I can support. And in case if I can support in terms of the other ecosystem players, those who have followed the similar journey, if I can maybe connect the startup along with those who have already succeeded into the similar journey. So those are the things which as a bank or a financial institution I would be able to
So
support.
we're going to wind up this first segment. When we go to the second segment, we'll go on about scalability and how you think and what's your plan. If you're already thinking, I can see there's some plan there. And how did you do it? So stay tuned on Chai Chat. We are having this marvelous discussion on startups and the to-dos in startup, and from people who are practically in it and on it. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.